Hey beauties, morning to you. So two of my colleagues, they were telling me of a particular incident. Apparently a woman had blocked her neighbor's gate with her motor vehicle. So maybe the lady couldn't afford to call a wrecker because perhaps the neighbor would have had to pay for the wrecker. So the better of the two for her in terms of less cost is to call the ones who reassure, serve, and protect us, the police. So when the police officers came, maybe they were beckoning to her and she responded. Maybe she alluded to them that she's not dressed properly, meaning she's probably in her towel solely. And I guess they were speaking with her on the matter. And then maybe what my colleagues were saying to me is that they were saying to her, ma'am, put your clothes on. Please put your clothes on. I guess they're coming in to arrest her for whatever reason because they were saying that she was hurling a lot of indecent language, cursing a lot of bad words, for those who didn't understand what I was saying. Cursing a lot of bad words at the police officers. Now, I remember Deion Jackson Miller had quoted something from the laws of the land that spoke to it didn't based on how it was written. There is no bad word law. And I did a video on it. I'll find it again. I know somewhere in some section 9 this or whatnot. There is no bad word law. I just spoke about profanity and something publicly. It was not necessarily geared towards police officers. So that situation is a very ticklish one because when I was growing up, I've often heard that it is unlawful, it is illegal to curse bad words, hurl bad words, in a derogatory way towards police officers. But based on how she was reading that particular act, it would seem that it would almost give the impression, if you're not of legal mind, would say at anybody publicly, if you do that, you can certainly be arrested. But needless to say, the police officers had no choice but to go in on her. These are male police officers, I'm told. But, my colleague said he can recall hearing the man beckoning to her, pleading with her almost, even in the face of vitriol and disrespect, that she was supposedly hurling at him to put her clothes on because lawfully you're really not supposed to be on the road naked, fully naked. It's unlawful, it's illegal in the public sphere. And so apparently they went in on her. And I think he probably was stretching to reach her hand, I'm told, to handcuff it. Maybe it brushed against her bust area or boob, so she started, I heard, holding onto her breast. It's hurting or whatnot. All right, there's a whole host of issues in that. And I can just imagine the sort of a trauma, let me put it that way, that the men were feeling. Yes, this time I'm going to be somewhat on their side for large extent, because I guess they're doing their duty, they're doing their service, and they were trying to pacify the situation. I'm getting it went out of hand. Now, here where I think the officers, the law enforcement officers, should have thought a little bit deeper. What they should have done when they realized that the woman refused to put her clothes on, because maybe she thought there's something with us as women, sometimes we try to use our head. But men, we have to admit it. And she had figured that once I'm naked, they can't do anything. They can't arrest her, they can't take her out naked, because she knows that lawfully you're really not supposed to be in the public sphere naked. What they should have done was said, okay, you don't want to come out naked? We're going to deal with this situation. They should have radioed help for a female officer to come. 1 or 2, preferably 2 female officers to come. When the officer or officers, female police officers come, they tell them that to carry a cloak, some sort of a sheet, whatever, something clean. I do, but with people who have to specify. Clean. If she refuses, they just throw it over her. They have to take that decision. Throw it over her, and then they take her in. Simple as that. Simple as that. Take her in. Maybe when she realizes, oh my goodness, they're female officers, I can't go cry, so they're trying to molest me and all of that. Although, you do have people of, I don't even want to get into that part, but it would be harder to prove her case in that sense. That is what I surmise. I thought the male police officers should have done. Don't leave the matter in your hands. I know sometimes when things go awry and you're irate and you're not thinking I wish something triggered them to say, you know what? All right, you don't want to move? We're going to find a way to get you to move from here, and just call ready for 2 female officers, 1 or 2, as I said, 1, preferably 2, and let them come, carry a clean cloak or sheet or whatever, and cover her and take her in. Since by law, the woman is not supposed to be held naked in public, man or woman. She's not supposed to be held naked. If you see a naked person, obviously that person must be mental, or probably was harassed and had to chase out of a house or something of the sort. Some sort of a nefarious act may have happened that causes them to be on the road naked. But somebody in their sane right mind, in a situation that is normal, should not be out on the road naked publicly. All right? Jamaicans, it is unfortunate that we live in a day where everything these days, and I have to say it this way, basically everything is dealt with in a nefarious, coarse, illicit manner. There is nothing that can be resolved amicably. Because here it is, I'm told that the woman is hurling bad words at the officers, are cursing them out and whatnot. Then she probably proceeds to say, I'm no murderer, I'm no thief, I'm no, somebody who is unlawful. I live by the laws of the land in her sphere. But one of the laws of the land talks about speaking profanity out in public. She may say she's in her home, but she's hurling it at, the law enforcement officers. So even though there is no such thing as bad word law, I mean, one can prove a case where she is almost resisting a law that should be enacted towards her on the basis of a misconduct, on the basis of a breach that she would have possibly committed. So on the hand, you're looking at the major things, the major crime and violence, or the major sins, but not looking at the one that easily beset you. It easily beset you. All of this probably could have been avoided had you just put your clothes on, or had you moved whatever gate, had you not hurled bad words at the police officers. So even though there is no such thing as a bad word law, a well-thinking person, somebody who is very smart, and intelligent, would not do it nevertheless. They would not do it. And it speaks to your own character and reputation. Now you have these men coming in on you, and you're going to cry wolf and say, oh boy, they did this and they did that, or, what part of your body is hurting you, and Horsted and Kofat. After I'm told that they were pleading with you, they were saying, ma'am, please put your clothes on. And if something should happen, and the reason why I would want them to get because I'm telling you, we live in a day and age, where any false move a man make on a woman, you hear it, you hear this, you hear that, you hear Horsted and Kofat. I'm telling you. And the laws are set up in such a way where, because women are part of the vulnerable groups, women, children, old people are part of the vulnerable groups. Anything that looks remotely evil can be used against the I don't want to use the word perpetrator, but for lack of a better term now. All right? I am so sorry that the officers didn't just settle and relax and think and say, you know what? Let me call a female officer or 2 to come and handle the situation here. Let me not touch it, especially the fact that the lady refused to put on her clothes. Don't touch it with a long stick. I hope moving forward, police officers will, if a situation like that should arise, automatically, you understand me? Just control your emotions, because you losing your emotions will not benefit you in the long run. Control your emotions. Call a female officer. Tell him to bring a clean cloak, a clean sheet, a clean whatever it is to cover the woman up. And then you take her in. Once it is that you have that right to arrest her, or you have that right, to take her in for whatever questioning or whatever it needs to be. But I hope she was not dragged publicly, because that you'd be breaching as well, officers. Because that lawfully, I mean, unless even if it's a mad person, once you bring even a mad somebody in, you'd have to go put on something for the mad person inside the place. You understand me? So, moving forward, I hope they will deal with matters like that. It is unfortunate, And I'm so sorry that we still live in a day and age where police against civilians, civilians against police sort of a situation, and even neighbors against neighbors. Neighbors live good with one another. Neighbors live good with one another. Please, guys, follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share this